As usual, gotta set up the category for the stream because the Xbox Twitch does not allow that, which is sad and tedious, but it gets the job done. Alright, let's betray Luna. No intro, just into it. No intro, just streamlining towards the finale. Hey Luna. How you doing? You doing good? Good. Alright, bye. Good talk. Boop boop. Boop boop. Boop 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 boop. Boop boop. And I trust him. Well, you're not trusting me this time. Unfortunate, Miss Robotic Lady, who is very pure and kind and honestly hasn't done me any wrong whatsoever. Luna! Where's Luna? The door into the living room, but she's gone.
That's odd. We came out the moment the gates opened. There's no way she could have left already.
Then that would mean she left her watch here. No, she didn't take it?
That doesn't make sense. Why would she show up just when we're about to vote? There was no reason for her to come here if she was just going to default.
Result, please.
Yeah.
Right,
Let's go
the results. Even though we are technically already know, so why do we really need to check the results? Who knows? You know, it's funny how they never showed Sigma Nut's face on all these things. Dead, 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 dead. Betray. Ally. We're scums. Anyway, we can escape.
Points have been assigned. Or subtract,
well,
please.
Quark's not dead. According to his bracelet, he's dead.
Since Luna didn't vote, she got set to ally automatically, and the other 6 got penalized.
Not voting
5 of them are
option.
dead already, and Quark's bracelet is off.
That means all penalties
Yeah.
are meaningless. We still don't know why Luna showed up, though. There's no reason to come here just
I
to
can only
abstain.
guess at her reasons, but I'm sure it was part of some plan.
A plan for
Who knows? So what do we do now? Whatever Luna's scheming, we still managed to get 9 BP. Do you want to leave?
What? No, we can't. We still don't know if Quark is safe. No way am I leaving before he...
I agree. I hoped you'd say that.
So, are you going to stay?
Of course. Let's get moving.
Roll out. She spun around and headed for the side door and followed on her heels. Really, we already know that Quark is at the treatment center. So the question is, how is Luna going to react to us betraying her? Are we gonna die? Or do we just escape and get a game over that way? The neutral ending. The game over, you escaped, but, yeah, ending. You didn't solve anything, but you played the game, and you escaped. So technically, you won, but... Are we really the winners in this route? Because honestly, I don't think so. But I wish we could take the brandy, the expensive one, and some food. Shit.
This is
He's
the
not
last
here either.
room. Well, the last room we can get into.
And we haven't seen
Yeah.
Luna either. Where the hell did she go? We were standing there trying to decide what to do next when we heard a familiar voice echo throughout the facility.
The number 9 door has been opened. It
Hey,
will
yo.
remain open.
No,
What?
that's not possible.
What's not possible? But she only bit her lip and said nothing, then all too soon it was over.
The number this ends. Thank you. As the game escape, please.
What? What just happened? It's all over now, isn't it? We're stuck here
We
forever.
should go back to the Floor A warehouse. I need to know if the door actually opened or not.
With that, she was off. I guess Luna could have hacked her watch to activate the door. That's the only explanation I could think of. Because we just can't look at the door and tell if it
True,
was open or not.
but the projection should tell us.
What? Luna and Quark escaped?
So it would seem.
Why? How? Almost as if on cue, the screen flickered. And Zero Jr. appeared.
Well! Long time no Zero! Remember your old pal Zero? I'm guessing somebody's hoping for an explanation about what the diddly-o just happened. Because we're such great friends, I decided to make an exception and descend from on high to give you the 411. Aren't you happy?
Favorite character, by the way.
So what's this explanation you've got?
Well, let's start with little Quark.
K is a
He
close
was
second.
given an anesthetic that put him to sleep. While he was out, Luna carried him through to the other side of the number 9 door.
But how did she open the door?
With Quark's bracelet, you silly bunny. It was still in the infirmary. Remember? Luna just hopped over there and picked it up.
So I was right. Quark had 9 BP when the second round ended.
Yup.
And she didn't have a wristband on, so she couldn't
Yes,
be
he
penalized.
did. But a penalty can't take away your points. Just your life. The needles popped out and so on, but the points stayed the same.
So Luna took Quark to the door,
And since her bracelet was already off, she
No.
would have suffered the penalty.
but it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Oh, right. She's a golem.
All right, I think my tale is through.
Okay, well, I got some questions for you, buddy.
Not you.
Well, good thing you guys don't have questions for V. That guy's a jerk.
This isn't the alphabet.
You must be feeling pretty good if you're able to joke around like that. I mean, 6 people just died here.
It's not really a big deal. That's just how
Lamau.
you humans are, after all.
We are insane.
So, as long as you make it, nothing else matters. Am I right?
No,
Don't
you're wrong.
screw with us!
It's cool. It's cool. I know you gotta act tough. I mean, you chose betray. That means you don't trust Luna, right? Figures? She's a golem. She might even be a murderer. That's why you were planning to leave her here and bone out, wasn't it? You see? It's all about you. Haven't you thought about how sad you've made Luna?
What?
Looks like my time here's just about all used up.
Wait. I still have questions
I
for...
won't wait. I don't like waiting. I waited once. After that, I learned to make sure to value my time.
I'm sorry, you waited once and some half-witted reptile got the better of me because of it. Lamau.
Tortoise and the hare.
Alrighty then. I'll see you when I see ya. Have a nice trader.
Ah, there's the nice trader line. For a long moment, Fi and I just stared at the spot on the wall where Zero disappeared. Where had Quark been? Who had given him the anesthetic? And why? We had no idea who'd killed everyone, and Zero's senior identity as well the purpose of the non-air game remained a mystery. As for our futures, what are we supposed to do now? I had meant to say the
The
words
tortoise
aloud, but there they
won
were.
because he kept going even when it looked hopeless. I think we should do the same. We've got plenty of time after all. We'll give the dead the closest thing to a funeral we can manage. And when that's done, we'll start looking. Even if I never leave this place, I'll figure out why we were here. I swear it.
I looked at the fire in her eyes and nodded if nothing else. At least we had a purpose. Game over. Now on to the finale! Yes, I guess we can save. Let's go get the Fi ending. Assuming this is what that is. Hey, bomb. Hey, I wish it was another bomb. Oh my god, there is another bomb. Do you know where the bomb could be?
Sigma, wait! Where are you going?
Don't follow me. Go
Idiot!
find the others.
Do you really think I'd do that?
I could hear her following me, but there was no time to argue. Instead, I focused on my goal. There was still time. Are we gonna use Luna? Are we gonna convince her to help us find the Zero Bomb by using the whole robotics law against her? Negligence is breaking a rule or something like that. I could see that working. She scan the whole building and be like, up, anomaly detected. And then boom, I look up the code for the bomb and bada bing, bada boom. We're good.
Here?
Yeah. Should be between these AB rooms. Good, I was right. How much time do we have left?
About a minute. Hurry!
Shit. I'm hurrying as fast as I can. Ching. Input device was plugged in. I was ready to go. Now I just had to enter the password. But what was the password? I couldn't shake the feeling that I already used up my third time charm. Still, I had to try. I shook my head and concentrated. Bajink, 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 bajink. Was this because of the K ending? I don't remember. Anyway, it is L X A Q N S G D Q. Game's gone quick. I messed up my own joke. Game's done quick. They planted the bomb. It stopped. Fi and I crumbled to the ground. The adrenaline that had sustained us suddenly.
How did you know it was
gone.
here? Did you see it in another history?
It's hard to explain. The short version is that Dio hid something here in another timeline. I guess maybe he put the bomb here too.
Pretty good guess.
Yeah.
Well, you did it. So, thanks.
Oh, I don't need any thanks.
Just
If
what?
he says the swimsuit comment, I'm gonna be sad.
What? What on earth are you talking about?
Right here.
Chromatic doors have opened. 5 minutes.
This is bad. The white doors have opened. We need to hurry. Everyone else is waiting for us in the Floor B warehouse. What the hell are you going on about? Just go!
What a pervert. Before I could protest, she turned and ran towards the magenta door. I sighed and head off after her. Ran to the warehouse to find everyone else already there. They'd done as Fi asked and brought the 3 unconscious members of our party back to the doors. Fi and I shared a quick glance and headed over towards them.
Oh, thank goodness. I'm so glad you're safe.
So, did you disable the bombs?
That's kind of a dumb question, Tenmyoji, seeing how you're still alive.
Don't you mean in your sleep? Oh my... Thank you! Thank you so much! Yeah. Good job, you guys.
No need to thank me. Although, I mean, if... hate it here. I'm not reading that.
What? Huh? You're disgusting.
I agree.
1 minute remains until chromatic doors close.
We need to hurry.
Everybody know who's in their group? All right.
Yeah,
then let's
I'm
move.
set. As 10 Myoji's command, we broke off into our teams. Kate carried Quark on his back and dragged Dio along the floor through the white door on the left. Clover and Luna carried Alice through the door on the right, and 10 Myoji, Phi, and myself ran through the
10,
center door.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Chromatic doors closing.
Closing. Ba-da, ba-da, boo-doo, 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 boo-doo. Oh my god, it's bright! Thank god I didn't do it here. What the hell? There's nothing
Well, there are
here.
doors. The one we came in. And that one, which I'm assuming is the exit.
Yep, figures. Won't budge.
The plaque on the door just said Q.
Q? What the fuck does that
Really?
mean?
Well, someone's just being a smartass.
Huh?
Nothing. Maybe the Q is for question.
Well, I guess it is a very questionable
If there was a deck of
room.
cards here, maybe the Q would be for Queen.
That's a quality guess right there.
Right. Well, we need to get out of here. Let's find a way to get the door open.
We also need to find the star keys. I've got enough BP to open the door, but you guys need to play the AB game some more.
Yeah.
We still need a few more points.
If we can get those star keys, we should be able to play the AB game as many times as we need to. So,
It's just a matter of time until we get the points we need.
right. Good.
Well, let's get
Okay.
started then. Ba-doom, 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 ba-doom. Seek a way out. Final puzzle. Let's do this. Okay, what are we supposed to do here? The room's empty. Wait, do you hear something? Oh, okay, yeah, no, just a random Rubik's Cube. Huh, well, how much do you want to bet it has something to do with that? Guess we should go, have a look. That's cool. There's nothing in here. Oh, and my cursor is red now. I think this cube is just floating here. How the hell is it doing that? Who knows? Can't tell just by looking at it. Why don't you touch and see what happens? Is it like Minesweeper? I understand what's going on here. Having a look at it, huh? The cube. Look at it again. There are winning and losing panel on the wall. The cube can help you find the winning panels. When the winning panels and only the winning panels are activated in cyan, the system will activate. Here's how to find the winning panels. When you select a panel on the cube, it will display a number. Each surrounding panel will also display a number. The number indicates the number of winning panels that border each panel. For example, Note 1, the hint that appears on the cube is different for each side. Hypothetically, if the wall with the exit is north wall, there are a total of 8 puzzles hidden in the walls. Examine the floor to view this message one more time. After that, it will be gone forever. Alright, winning, losing panels. The wall with the exit, the north wall. Then the wall on the right, that would be ease. Make the wall with the entrance to the south, and the wall on the left. With the hint that appears on the west side would be referred to the east side. The hint that appears on the west side would actually refer. Okay. That's fine, sure. After that, it's gone forever. So I know I'm playing like Minesweeper, but oh! Oh no! That's 6, 3, 6, 7. Oh no! 3, 6, 7. So it's all the way over here. Whoa, what the hell? That's how this one works. Looks like there's more of them, we should keep looking. Oh no. Alright, let's go over here. Whoa. I don't want to mess with that yet. That has 4 numbers. I'm good. Over here, alright, 2 and 1. I can still deal with that. So you and you are winning. And then you and you. And then you are winning. So 3 to the right, 2 to the left. 3 on the right. Oh, I didn't know I was done. I was... Yep, okay, cool. Darts? Why the hell am I playing darts? And then entrance door in the background. Not you. So you. So you 3. And then 4 over here. So 3, and then these 3. I don't like how it would bring up the dartboards. I like darts. And you 3. The Roomba's back. It's looking good now. My laptop shut off. Bam. Ooh, okay, this is the 4 and 3. So winning, 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 winning. Alright, so not winning. So U3. Yeah, U3 because of that 0 doesn't count. Bam, 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 bam. Alright, I gotta look at the cube again. Yes, yes, yes. 4, 5, 6, 7. No. Yes. 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 Okay, got that. Yes. 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 No. 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 And then obviously no. Why is that not right, I wonder? Okay, so you worked. And then you worked. Oh, not the fucking dice. And then you worked. Okay. Two, three. Alright, I guess that worked. Gross. Alright. Let me just fix my laptop real quick. Alright, you should be awake now. You should stay awake, I mean. Cool. Alright. Looks like a bookshelf. Looks like 4 purple books. Let's go through each one of them. What? What the? There's nothing written here, huh? And all the pages are blank. All the other books are the same. Let's have a look. Yeah, there's nothing here. This one's blank too. Huh? Something's wrong. Is there something in this one? No, the pages are all blank. It's just what? Well, there are some pictures put in between the pages back there. 3 of them, it looks like. A picture of a blue dye. Gross. Gross. Hexagons. The red mem code. I feel like I've done this puzzle before. Shut up. And then we click. No, what do we click? Don't click the bottom one. Do we just click triangles? Yes, we do. Because it's not trying to make the green, we're just making it all red. Look, we're trying to make that, which we did. Glass doors. They were open. Well done. That was some good work, Sigma Nuts. It's a binder. Let's have a look. It's a piece of paper and it says Q Chamber Special AB Game. You found instructions for the Q Chamber AB games. You can visit it in the archives. Oh. Yeah, hints for the AB Game Q Edition. 3 people would definitely choose Ally. 3 people will definitely choose Betray. 1 is a mysterious mirror man. He will always do whatever his opponent does. First answer, strive for 9 with 6 cooperators. Second answer, we must be the only one to surpass 9. Interesting. Darts. Yay. Those missiles? They're darts. Look over here. Lane does a green memory card. We can't get out though. The glass is covering it. We can get some darts out. Okay, I'll grab a couple. Alright, let's play darts. Everyone's seen this before. Go on, who hasn't seen dart? No, that's not my map. I feel like I've seen this somewhere in this building before. You know, this board is different from normal board. So, no? Let's try it out. What do you mean try it out? Isn't it obvious? There are only two ways to use the dartboard. Either you use it to hold pizza or you throw it at darts at it. You got some darts, so I'm just thinking, maybe we try throwing them. Get a score of 100 with 3 darts. However, the first dart must land in the green area, second in the blue area, and the third in the red. You gotta get to 100, huh? First in the green. 39. Second blue. Let's go with the double digit still. 67. Easy. That's so. Did not mean to do that. Let's redo this, shall we? And 11. 33. 100. Let's go. Piece of cake. You see that? My dart skill is exquisite. Do you really think that you can just stand the whole 2 meters and 37 centimeters away from the dartboard, though? I'm a fair man. My high school voted me most likely to be a judge, you know? Okay, that's great and all, but look, display case. Ka-chink. Then we can get that green memory card. Yoink. Should have one of cats. Hate it here. Pretend Miyoji's a furry. Alright, you stupid dice. Oh, ah. Alright. 5 and 1. Yep. Alright. Yes. I hate this already. Do you need to be 1? You do need to be 1. Alright, cool. You have to be the 3 next to it. Yes. Green 1. Six next to it. Yep. Okay. Five next to the 6. Yep. Nope. The 4 next to the 5? Yes. Alright, cool. I was gonna check, but I guess it was good. got it. I had a feeling you could do it. Good job. Have a look at this. Hey, open. Yoink. Nothing on it. We turn it on. Well, hell if I know. I don't see a button card slide anywhere. All we gotta do is turn it on. Might as well leave it alone for now. I think I've seen something like this before. I mean, one of those exercise machines where you twist your hips around. No, I don't think so. I think this is like a fitness machine to me. This is damn it. Can't remember. I feel like I saw this before, but I don't know where. Nope, fuck that. Alright, you. There's a screen down there. It's dark. Looks like we need these fucking cards. Clink, clink. Clink, clink. Clink, clink. Looks like you turned it on. US, A, and B are all pairs consisting of two people. C, D, and E are solos consisting of a single person. First move the A and B to the blank area. The area is under pair. Next move solo C, D, and E to the blank areas on the left. Over solo, press A to grab and move the letter icon. A pair and a solo line vertically with verses between them or face off against one another in AB game. You can still move icons even after you place them. If the correct number of people have reached the target BP after playing 3 rounds, the game will be completed. We have to get to 9. I guess we'll just start it out just randomly like this. Ally. We all trust each other. I see. You guys were good. B versus D. You're still not liking each other, huh? Okay, fine. Well. Well then, A and E, if you guys can't be so very nice to each other, then you'll die. As in nothing will happen. Let's go. You guys just gotta like each other. God. There's a bonus. We did it. This should get us to the save. Password. Let's see. Thank you. The first answer, strive for 9 with 6 cooperators, which we did. A and E did not like each other. Second answer, we must be the only one to surpass 9. Okay. Okay. Us. Yep. Let's see. Let's grab you, D. And then we'll just put you guys here. Hey, D. I don't like how you looked at me. Betray. Alright, so E has 6. Let's put you 2 together. I guess D together. Hey, C, I saw that you were trying to support me. I feel you thought that I did a good thing. So you know what, Ally. You know what? See, you did a good job. You know what? I'm not even mad at you anymore. I wasn't even mad at you. You're like the Luna in this situation. You just like me so much. So you know what? Let's just do it again. Let's do it again. You know what? Ally. Hell yeah. I'm out. C was the Luna, and I win. Think safe. We should plug in the password. Why don't we give it a shot? Sun, star, moon. Good job, you opened it. Well done. The final secret thing to read. Swimsuits, why is that? Was he involved in a purple swimsuit accident? Yeah. Anyway. A way of describing reality that adds a fourth dimension of time to the three-dimensional space. It was described by German mathematician Hermann Minkowski, and therefore bears his name. Is also the name of the ski resort for miniature cows. Lagomorph. Scientific name for the order to which rabbits belong, and 0/3 actual name. Why do we have to use the photo of Kay and Buddy Rasuits? Tenmyoji and Alice. When they were split up at the red, blue, and green chromatic door, Tenmyoji told Alice that there was something he had to tell her. That something was, of course, his identity, and that he already knew all about Alice and Ice 9, and not because he heard about it from Clover. Tenmyoji and Clover. After the second round of the AB game, after going through the purple and green door, Clover, as a solo, was heard to say the following to Tenmyoji, her opponent. What the heck did you mean with all that? It's not fair if you're telling the truth then. So what had happened? So what had Tenmyoji said to her? Same thing he'd meant to say to Alice, of course. He told her who he was. That simple fact shook Clover's resolve and made her vote ally. It probably hadn't been his original intention to betray her, but after thinking about Quark's safety, he probably felt he had no choice than pick betray. AB Project. A can stand for after and B for before, but they can also stand for anima and body. Everything that happened in this facility was part of the AB Project. The Mysteria Phi. Who was Phi? There are a few clues scattered throughout the story, but nothing conclusive. Perhaps the truth will be revealed at the Nevada test site. Hey, yo! Deactivation passwords. Here's a little something more about the bomb deactivation passwords. Those passwords, they aren't just gibberish. There's something hidden in each one. I can only give you one hint. +1. Good luck! There's a lot more to the story, but I think we'll stop the secret archives here. Thank you for playing, and we hope you enjoyed the game. Aww! I'm gonna Google what the hidden thing was. Crash Key, Free Z Soul, Myrmidons, my brother. Okay. That's cool. Anyway. Sun, moon, moon. And we hope you enjoyed the game. Yes, it opened! Okay then, let's see what's in here. First off, 2 star keys. We can play it as much as we want. Those keys are important, but look at this. Axe body spray. The Radical 6 cure. Oh, well, thank goodness. I don't know what to say. Quark is gonna be okay. Is he crying? Alright, let's get out of here. We got stuff for Quark and Alice, and we got the key. Let's get moving. Nope, get the fuck out of here. All set here, go for it. Alright, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, stop that. Jeez, one more time. 3, 2, 1.
Huh. It opened.
We should get back to the Floor A warehouse then.
Hey, wait. Did you guys hear something?
What?
You didn't hear it? It came from over there. It sounds like something turning on. See, I told you. The screen wasn't on before.
You're right. Guess it was set to turn on when we opened the door.
It looks like an authentication screen. I think we need to put in an ID and a password.
Yeah, but what?
That was when I noticed the illustration. The lion is eating the sun, the lion is eating the sun, the lion is eating the... Memento Mori. Remember death. Ba-jink, ba-jink, the jumpy doll. Oh, of course. This was the real ninth lion, but if that was the case, Memento Mori. Remember death. Memento Mori. Remember death. Memento Mori. Remember death. Bunk, a bunk, 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 what? This is where we type in Kurashiki. Nope. And Jumpy Doll!
Sigma! Look!
Gross.
Akane.
Your.
Her name is Akane Kurashiki. I've been looking for her for a very long time.
Junpei Tenmyoji. He walked towards her, almost as if he was afraid of scaring her. He reached out.
She's a hologram.
Tenmyoji squeezed his eyes shut.
Akane.
He closed his hand around empty air and let it fall to his side. There was a moment of sad silence, and then she began to speak.
I see you finally arrived. I've been waiting for you. Well, I suppose that's slightly inaccurate. What you see now is a holographic message I recorded before you came here. Unfortunately, this means I will not be able to answer your questions, at least not directly. I hope you will understand. Now,
Who's the old man?
where to begin? You probably have a great many questions. What day is it? Where are we? Who is Zero? And what does he have to do with Akane Kurashiki? But I imagine there is one question that rises above all the others. Why were we brought here? The answer to that is simple. Everything that has happened here is part of our plan. All of this was required for the success of the AB project. I assume you heard the name by now, at least. In any event, you were all needed in order to execute our plan. The Nonary game was necessary for the same reason. Your question now, I imagine, is just what is this AB project? The answer to that is also simple. Allow me to explain. We created the AB project for one purpose: to transport the consciousnesses of two people into the past. Those two people are you, Sigma, and you, Phi.
What do you mean, the past? I really don't even hear the question. Not Phi, not Tenmyoji, and certainly not a pre-recorded hologram. The past?
Have you figured out what this room is? I assume you saw the Q on the door. It stands for quantum. That makes this the quantum room.
It took me a moment to realize she'd changed subjects without even pausing. There was nothing we could do, of course, but I still felt a bit of cleaning up frustration.
Do Do you see that large enclosure? That houses our quantum computer. The systems that control this entire facility run on that machine. That includes the construct you refer to as Zero Jr., as well as the golems. All of them do their thinking in that box. Isn't that strange, though? It seems contrary to how we perceive the world. The body, the thing that you see and interact with, is somewhere else. But the mind and all its thoughts are in this box. Perhaps it isn't so strange, though. Perhaps humans are the same, with our minds and thoughts existing separate from our bodies. Our core is in our head, of course. We all have individual brains, think individual thoughts, and act according to individual wills. That makes communication difficult, though. So, we're forced to rely on inefficient mediums like language, photographs, non-verbal cues, etc., to transmit information. Each one of us is an individual, and we have no direct connection to anyone else. But is that really true? In the dimensions we are most familiar with, yes, it is. If we look at things from another higher dimension, however, we may all be connected after all, like the branches of a tree or a rhizome. Imagine a horizontal cross-section of the root system of a large tree. All you can see are the spots where the roots intersect the plane of your cross-section. In the 2 dimensions you see, the roots all appear to be individual things with no connection to one another. But this isn't the case. If you expand your view and look at the root system in 3 dimensions instead of only 2, you see the truth. All the roots join together at the trunk. In 2 dimensions, they appear to be separate. But if you look at the roots from a 3rd higher dimension, you see things that might appear to be separate from one another in 3 dimensions could be connected to one another if you look at them in 4 dimensions. Doesn't that at least seem like it could be a possibility? I believe that is how human consciousness actually works. Well, I'm not the only one, I suppose. Zero and I share that belief.
Morphogenetic field theory.
Oh, Jesus, not that. Temuji mumbled something that sounded like nonsense. I opened my mouth to ask him what it meant, but Akane was already talking again.
Now, when I talk about a 4th dimension, I'm referring to the 4th dimension used in Minkowski space-time. Let's start with a single dimension, where all that exists is a point. Connect points to one another, and you have a line. In 1 dimension, the only surface you can create is that, a line. But move to 2 dimensions and create more lines, and you can create shapes. These are 2-dimensional surfaces. Move up to 3 dimensions, and you can connect these shapes to one another and form 3-dimensional objects. Now you have a 3-dimensional surface, which encompasses a volume of space. Connect 3-dimensional objects to one another, and you've formed a 4-dimensional object, which encompasses a volume of both space and time. It is on that 4th dimensional axis that our minds are connected. If that was true, then what would prevent anyone from sending their consciousness backward or forward in time? That theory
What are you talking about, Willis?
is the foundation of the AB project. The A
What are you talking about, Willis?
represents after, and the B represents before. It probably sounds silly to you. A ridiculous story made up by a mad old woman. But look at what's happened to you. You've seen many different worlds and timelines, haven't you, Sigma? And what about you,
Sigma
Phi?
nuts.
I know you have too. Am I wrong? Tenmyoji should know what I'm talking about as well. I believe you experienced something very similar nearly half a century ago. You sent your consciousness to the past to help save a little girl's life. It was a long time ago, but perhaps you still remember.
Yeah, of course I do.
You, Junpei?
How could I forget? That little girl was you, Akane.
Suddenly, I feel like Phi and I were outsiders trespassing on something we had no right to see. Tenmyoji's face was torn with emotion as he looked into Akane's eyes. It seemed almost like she was looking back at him.
Now, unfortunately, my time is up. The final stage of the project will begin very soon. I need to go prepare. The next time we meet, I can tell you the rest of the story. So come and find me. I'll be waiting. One last thing. The cat in the box. Is it alive? Or is it dead?
I
Sigma,
hated you.
Phi. You will decide its fate. Goodbye.
Wait! Akane, wait!
Oh, Tenmyoji. I can almost see you. You don't need to worry. Everything is going to be okay. I will see you again one day. I promise. But I'm going to have to ask you to wait just a little longer.
Wait! Akane!
Who the fuck is Tenmyoji? And then she was gone. Oh, so that was Tenmyoji that was doing that position. Alright. He's crying. What was there to say? What was there to say? I don't know, what could you say? There's a lot of things you could say. But anyway. With a shaky hand, Tenmyoji pulled a photograph out of his pocket. It was a picture of a girl. After all that we've been through, her smile was enough to break your heart. Are you Junpei? Answer me. We made our way to a warehouse on floor A and met up with the others. It took only a few minutes to decide to head to the infirmary. As soon as we arrived, we began to treat Alice and Corkwood for Radical 6. I gave Luna the X-Spy spray, and I found in the Q room. She prepared it, and she shot them both, killing them. It was a tragedy. Luna was out of control.
Thank goodness. It will take some time for them to recover completely, but they should be fine. Good.
Indeed.
Thank
Great.
you, Luna. And thanks for finding the medicine, you guys. Thank you so much.
Don't
No
sweat
need
it.
to thank us.
Then Yoji said nothing, just walked over to Quark's unconscious body. He took the small boy's hand into his own and held it tight. They could see tears at the corner of his eyes as he turned away from us. Suddenly, I remembered. Hideo, where'd he gone? He didn't take long for me to find him. He was sprawled unconscious on the floor beneath the sink. Handcuffed.
Oh, we found those in the crew quarters. Before you Of course, the bomb was indeed turned off.
Before you returned, we went to check on the bomb in room 2 and we found them there. Of course, the bomb was indeed
Thank
turned
you
off.
again for dealing with them. You are, quite literally, lifesavers. You have my eternal gratitude.
I coughed awkwardly and looked pointedly around the room. I glanced over at Phi and she said, and to see she was doing the same thing. After that, we headed down to the thing. Yo. Specifically, me, Fi, Kay, and Luna. Clover and Tenryuji decided to remain in the infirmary just in case something happened with Alice, Quark, and Dio. Luna would represent Clover's team, with Quark and Dio sleeping. Kay would represent their team by default, which left me, Fi, and Tenryuji.
No, I'll let you
Here's your
handle it.
vote.
I chose Betray in the last round. You probably don't trust me right now.
What? That doesn't matter
Excuse
now.
me. I apologize for interrupting, but I think you should be the one to vote the next round, Fi.
Why?
You already have 9 BP. There's no reason for you to choose Betray now. You see?
Hey, you're acting like I might actually try and betray her.
Not necessarily.
What does it matter what he's suggesting? We're almost there. We just have to play the A-B game 3 more times. Then we can all get 9 points. But that means each representative has to choose ally all 3 times.
God, Tenryuji and Luna and Alice. Slacking, are we? Teehee.
Okay, I'll vote. You sure you're alright with this, Sigma?
Yeah, I trust you. I handed her the
Shall
star
we
key.
open the doors?
An ambidex gate 40.
Oh, right. We have to wait for the deadline.
Oh, well, we could vote earlier, but then each voter would be stuck inside the AB room for 45 minutes.
Okay, let's go back to the infirmary then.
I agree. Please, lead the way.
Luna and Kay set off towards the yellow door.
Hold on.
What to follow when?
I just remembered something. The AB room on the
What?
left, in one of the other histories, she...
Oh, yeah. You're right. Akani's body was in there. What does this mean? Why didn't we find her body
Maybe
this time?
because she wasn't murdered.
That's what I've been saying or thinking. I don't know if I ever said it. Because I've been confused!
Do you remember what Akane said?
The cat in the box. Is it alive or is it dead? Sigma? Phi? You will decide its fate.
It's fate. The Schrödinger
Exactly.
cat thing. I wonder what she meant.
Perhaps
about
she
us
was saying her
deciding
own
its
fate wasn't decided yet. The history where she's
Huh?
alive and the history where she's murdered are both real right now.
What? No, that's impossible. We've already opened the box. We opened the door to this AB room and there was no body.
No, we haven't opened the box. We haven't found a body, but we haven't found her alive yet either. In other words, we haven't actually observed her. The hologram was a recording from before this game started.
The next time we meet, I can tell you the rest of the story. So come and find me. I'll be waiting.
Where was Akane now? Where was she waiting for us? Or, what if she wasn't anywhere now? What if she was waiting for us in another timeline? Or, what if she was waiting for us in the past? Was that even possible? If she was, what would that mean? What? You son of a bitch. 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 Excuse me? Excuse me? Ow, 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 ow. Damn it. It feels like my head's gonna explode. Wait. I've been here before. Where the hell am I? Looks like an elevator,
No,
but...
this is one of the AB rooms.
Yeah! Who the hell are you? What the hell's an AB room?
Damn. I guess you did lose your memory after all.
Memory? Memory. Boom, 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 boom. I remember. You're 5. She grinned.
Check your bracelet.
It's a red pear. BP is 3.
Mine's the same.
Does that mean this is the beginning of the game? We've gone back to when we first woke up in the AB room?
No, not quite. I think we woke up a little earlier this time. Push the buttons on the side of your bracelet.
2 hours, 15 minutes.
We didn't wake up this long before the primary doors opened last time. I think we're about an hour early.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're right.
Akane might still be alive. We got back before Dio killed her. I think. Right. We're here for one reason.
To stop the murder from happening.
Exactly.
Let's move.
Don't need to tell me twice. Let's go.
Do I have to do the puzzle again? You kidding me? Are you effing kidding me? Oh, thank God. I was like... Once the password has been found, it will never change. Going back to the past will change. Time like doesn't matter. I was like, are you kidding me? What if I do the star move? We already got the gold file. No, that's the wrong password. We need the other one to get the key. All right, I was just curious. God. Sun, moon, sun. I was like, what the fuck? There, it's open. Good work. Hurry up and grab the cracker. Cracker? Ah, damn, I my key. How the hell? Just shut up and do it. For God's sake, just do it already. No need to yell. Alright, good. Looks like that worked. Ready, Fi? What do you think? I know, I don't need to ask you. What the hell do you think? Hurry up and right, I'm going 10, 9, 8, 1, done. Hey, you pushed the button. Bite me. You're taking too long. We're on schedule. Fine, I climbed through the hatch and onto the AB room door. It took only a moment to spot them. Akane! Behind her was Dio, and he was moving quickly and quietly, a knife glinting in his right hand. Shit! There was no time to yell at her. I scrambled on top of the AB room. Fi wasn't following me. When I looked back, she was still staying on the roof. Fi, what the hell are you doing? Get down here, Ann! Before I could finish, she moved. She jumped. She ran across the roof, launched herself into the air. Hee-yah!
He's fine. Just unconscious.
Does she have like cybernetic legs if I have the arms? I bent down and held my fingers in front of his mouth. Ugh. He was still breathing.
I don't think he saw
not in
me.
his mouth.
He probably has no idea what happened to him.
Guy went down like a sack of potatoes.
He had it coming.
Potatoes. True. Our first footsteps come to a stop right in front of us. Hello, you two.
So you came. I've been waiting for you. You're here to hear the rest, right?
Wait. Just wait a minute. What the hell is your deal? How can you be so calm? If we hadn't shown up just now, you'd...
Have been stabbed in the heart by this young man and died. Yes. Although, that reminds me, I haven't thanked you yet. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate you saving me.
Hold on. How do you know about being stabbed by Dio? Are you an Esper too?
Yes, indeed I am. I am able to jump through time, just like you.
Then what the hell were you thinking? If you knew he was gonna stab you, why were you going to let him do it?
Because I had to. Think back.
What?
Why are you here? If I hadn't been killed by Dio, no one else would have been murdered. Consequently, your own abilities would never have manifested. I did explain, didn't I? The purpose of the AB project was to send the two of you to the past. Or your minds, at least. In order for that to happen, some death was necessary. When a human brain is faced with danger, its processing speed increases. Information is processed more quickly, and time almost seems to slow. A few seconds can feel like an eternity. Unfortunately, that in itself isn't enough to send oneself through time. The amplitude of the consciousness is simply too small. In order to increase the amplitude, we need to slow down the brain before the increase happens. It's a little like a slingshot. You pull back on the rubber band and then let go. The potential energy you stored in the band is released and converted into kinetic energy. That's what fires the bullet out of the slingshot. Now, while a slingshot can only fire in one direction, your mind isn't similarly limited. When the bullet of your consciousness is fired from the slingshot of your brain, it travels past the three-dimensional world and into the four-dimensional one. From that perspective, time is no longer fixed. In other words, you can travel to the future, the past, whenever you like. Your consciousness has been released from the three-dimensional cage. In order for that to happen, I had to infect you with Radical 6.
We're infected
Whoa,
with Radical 6?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Don't you remember, Sigma? Luna should have told
Sigma
you
nuts.
about it in another timeline.
Are you sure? Infecting all of these people with such a horrible disease?
Every single one of you has been infected. Well, apart from Luna, of course. Unfortunately, it was necessary. We needed to slow your minds in order to store up your potential energy. Then we provided a dire situation that would accelerate your processing speed. The result is what you are now experiencing. Your consciousness now occupies four-dimensional space-time. Even that, however, wasn't enough. You had the ability to travel, but your memories could easily be lost during the trip. If the project was to succeed, you had to be able to retain everything you learned in each reality. That was the reason you were forced to jump so many times. With each jump, your ability to remember improved. Eventually, you would be able to retain everything. That is why we made you play the A-B game. That was why you had to select different chromatic doors. By forcing specific choices, we could cause you to make more jumps.
I get it. I think I finally understand. Well, okay, there are a lot of things I don't understand. All of what you just told me makes sense. You did all of this so that Fi and I could jump through four-dimensional space without memories intact.
Yes.
Right? But why did you need us to do that? People have died for this. I mean, let's count how many different ways people have died. Murder, antimatter explosion, suicide. I've died, so has Fi, so have you. Sad. Sage. Has Fi died? I guess an explosion. So why would you do all this? What does it matter that Fi and I jumped through time?
Haven't I told you? Death was unavoidable. You are all destined to die. Sacrifices had to be made for the sake of the project.
What a bitch. I already know all that. What I'm asking you is why? What is it so goddamn important that it's worth all this?
Ah. I'm sure you'll figure it out eventually.
What?
What a bitch.
Just when is eventually?
In a future not very far from now.
Bullshit! That's not good enough. Why can't you tell us now? Instead of answering, Akane knelt down next to Dio and picked his knife up off the floor.
I'm going to keep this with me.
Don't change the subject.
But it's almost time.
What are you talking about? We've got plenty of time.
No. In a few moments, you'll return to the original timeline. This is the way it has to be. Don't fight it. Lagomorph.
Yes.
Lagomorph?
That's your real name?
You call him Zero
I guess we already knew
Jr.
that.
His official designation is Lagomorph. Lagomorph, this is an order. Unlock my bracelet.
Compliance.
Now, everything is in place. I have put the bracelet onto Dio. All we have to do is place his body in the 5th AB room, the second one from the right.
That's the one Quark is in, right?
Correct. I will move him. I will also put your bodies back into the 3rd AB room. Once that's done, I will reset its puzzle to an unsolved state.
Why do you need to do all
To
that?
recreate the history that you remember. Your consciousness is about to leave your body and return to the future. Your body will be emptied, and your other consciousness will jump back in. If your bodies aren't back in the 3rd AB room by then, it would be bad.
So you're saying some version of us is going to wake up in that room and repeat the same history again? Well,
I guess this could actually be our second or third time.
You are exactly correct. Lastly, I'm going to leave this with you.
She paused and pulled out a key. It was a small
I'll
key
tie
attached
it
to a string.
onto your ankle so that you won't lose it. All right, Sigma? Tu
Say on
fui
there.
ego eris.
It's
You
Latin.
son of a
it
bitch.
means what I am.
Yes. It
We're
will
going to the
help you
garden.
meet someone who's very important.
We're going to the garden.
Go.
We're going to the
Return
garden.
to the future. You won't be alone. I will be
Returning
at
to the
your
past.
side,
Well, I mean, we're
watching over you. Now hurry.
returning to the future now. Goldie Yoko reference. I hate it here. Hate it here? I hate it here. That's cool. Hey, I hate it here. Where are we now? Oh, shocking.
Oh, looks like you're awake.
Ah, so you're finally awake.
Why are we here?
Do you know what happened at the AB gate?
Kay and I went back to the infirmary, but
We waited and waited, and the two of you never returned.
so we went to the warehouse to check on you.
We found you passed out in front of the AB rooms.
Kay and I hurried back here with you.
Oh, this is after we deactivate the zero bomb, I think.
You mean
Remember
what
what
happened a
happened just
long
now?
time ago?
Yeah, you got him pretty good, right?
Yeah, I remember all right.
Hee
Hey, what are you guys talking about?
Quark!
What am I? Chopped liver?
Alice!
Back among the conscious and not psychotic, huh?
Yeah, thanks.
Hee.
Grandpa told me what you did. Thanks for finding the medicine for us.
No problem. All in a day's work. Although, I wouldn't mind a little...
Really grabbing at straws here, aren't you?
Hey!
Not really my point.
Hey!
Whatever.
Hate it here.
Forget about that. Now that you guys are awake, all we gotta do is open the number 9 door.
What are you talking about?
Look at your bracelet.
It says 10. I have 10
I've got
BP.
15 BP? That means I got 6 more points while I was out.
You've been
Wow.
asleep for more than 2 hours. We've played the AB game 3 times.
3
Yes,
times.
of course, the color and group assignments were shuffled around each time. But no matter who voted, everyone chose Ally.
Good job, Dio.
And now all of us have enough to leave.
Boom, 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 boom. Let me go to the gardens. I was stunned. How has everyone cooperated long enough to raise all BP past 9? Was it because Akane hadn't been killed? Or that's a death to start things off. Maybe we'd been less suspicious of one another. Or could the bombs have something to do with it? We'd all joined forces against Dio, and Fire and I have been able to disarm all of them. All of us have banded together against a common enemy and overcome a tremendous threat. Perhaps that strengthened our bond, which I had to admit would be somewhat ironic. After all, Dio had planted the bombs and forced us all to work together against him. This must have been what Akane was talking about.
Haven't I told you death was unavoidable? Sacrifices had to be made for the sake of the project.
Come on, let's go! Let's open the door and get out of here!
Wait, what about him? After some discussion, we decided to leave Dio behind. Alice was the only holdout. She complained about wanting to take him back to her supervisor, but after I mentioned they'd come back to investigate after we escaped and deal with Dio, then she would let.
All right, let's get going.
Damn, at least give him some food. Warehouse A. Everybody ready?
Yes, just get on with it.
Everyone else swallowed and nodded. I grabbed the lever and pulled it down.
The number 9 door has been opened. It will...
Alright, everybody, let's move! I didn't need to tell him twice. Inside was clearly a loading elevator. It looked sort of like a large plate on top of a huge pedestal. We ran to the center of the plate and turned around.
2.
Number 9 door is still wide open.
0. The number 9 door is closing. The number 9 door has closed. This ends the no. Thank you for your participation. As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door.
We did it! Yay!
Looks like we did it.
Yes, we should keep moving.
Beyond the door was a wide hallway that ended in a very solid wall. To the left, we found a very familiar looking door. We pushed it open and went inside. Conveniently, there are 8 suits.
You know what this place is?
Yeah, sort of. This whole facility is pressurized, apparently. I think the idea is to keep the air outside and consequently the virus from getting inside. That means if we want to go out, we have to decompress, so we manage the outside air pressure. This room here is where you prepare to go into the actual pressure exchange room. You see all those suits along the wall? I figured we need to put those on and head to the decompression room downstairs.
Hold on a minute! You're saying the air outside is full of that horrible virus?
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Of course, according to Akane, we were already infected with Radical 6, so the whole room seemed a little...
Why? How did all this happen?
Did they?
No, that's not possible.
We've come this far. We can't turn back now. Let's go outside. There's no way to know what's really going on until we do.
True.
All right.
Let's find out that we're in space. No one else objected. We all donned the protective suit and headed downstairs to the decompression room. As soon as we were all inside, the process began. The air hit had us sucked out of the room. We stood there for several minutes waiting for the process to finish. At last, it did, and we heard the doors begin to open. Beyond it was another decompression chamber. We repeated the process 2 more times before we reached the final door and opened it. The dead, bleak landscape wasn't a surprise for me. I'd seen it before in another timeline. Among Us. The others hasn't, however, and although I couldn't see their faces through the visors of the helmets, I heard more than a few people gasp over the radio. For a long moment, we just stood there, astonished.
Where the hell are we?
The desert, I guess?
I figured that out. I mean, which one?
I don't know, but I think I know what day it is. Look at the moon. It's red, right? That means today's the total lunar eclipse.
So?
Remember the astronomy magazine in the lounge? Well, the next eclipse like this was gonna be on December 31st, 2028. So...
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Are you suggesting we were sleeping for a week after we were abducted?
I think so.
Wherever we were must have been far away from any city. The air was cleaner than I had seen it. And the sky was so full of them, more stars than I had ever seen in my life. I could even spot the hazy arm of the Milky Way. But the most striking feature was the moon. It was blood red and massive, much bigger, in fact, than I remembered it being. Then, as I watched, a black spot began to move across its surface. It was hard to see details, but it looked circular. The spot continued to move across the moon, heading for the right edges.
The moon.
What's that?
The moon's shadow, actually.
The moon's shadow? I frowned. That didn't
Zero
make
told me
sense.
to stay quiet. I think he was worried I'd spill the beans on his operation. He said if I didn't toe the line, he wouldn't just kill me. He'd kill Quark, too. And I agreed, like an idiot, and brought Quark with me. Just so I could see her.
Just so you could see a
Such an
Connie.
idiot. So, that being the case, might as well start with this. I meant what I said before. That up there is the moon's shadow.
What the hell are you
Think
saying?
about it. If that's the moon's shadow, then what's it falling on?
That's Earth?
Yeah. It's not the red moon you get from a lunar eclipse. Then again, this isn't a lunar eclipse. It's a solar eclipse. Anybody in the black spot down there is looking up at the moon, covering the sun.
What? No way! If that's yours, then where the hell are we? We're on Mars, baby!
The moon, of course! This is the lunar
Fuck.
surface. We were just inside a moon base. No way. No, you've gotta be lying. How do you expect us to believe that? This can't be the moon.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Besides, if this was the moon, how do you explain the gravity? The moon only has 1/6 of the Earth's gravity. So what's this?
My mental capacity is draining. She picked up a rock and dropped
See?
it.
That looked perfectly normal.
Yes, it looked that way.
Luna?
You were right about the gravity in a way. I was one of the people who knew this wasn't Earth. Well, I suppose I'm not people, if we're being honest, but...
Excuse me? What?
Please just listen. Alice, you were infected with Radical 6. Then we gave you the Accelavir, which cured you. The Radical 6 isn't completely gone, though. Some of its symptoms stick around for a while.
What symptoms?
Well, Radical 6 can slow down your brain's processing speed by the root of 1/6. It can take a while for your brain to get back up to speed. Every one of us has been infected. In other words, all of our brains have been processing information at a much lower speed. If you evaluated the root of 1/6, you'll get a number close to 0.408. That means our brains are
Nerd.
running at something slightly less than half speed. As you said before, the moon's gravity is about 1/6 that of Earth's. The time that it takes for an object to fall is inversely proportional to the square root of the gravitational acceleration. Since the gravity is lower on the moon, that means the time increases. I guess that's a little technical. Well, let me give you an example. Say you drop an apple from a height of 4.9 meters. It will take approximately 1 second to hit the ground. On the moon, however, that time would be 1 second times root 6, which would be approximately 2.45 seconds. I used 4.9 meters because it matches up with the acceleration of gravity nicely, but it could be anything. The gravity constant is, well, a constant. You could drop something from 10 centimeters or 10 meters and it would be the same. Does that make sense? So now we've established that on the moon, things fall root 6 times slower than they do on Earth. That being the case, what would happen if someone's brain slowed down by root 1/6? To them, 2.45 seconds would feel like 1 second. 4.9 seconds would feel like 2. But it's not hypothetical. That's what's been happening to every one of us.
Wait, you're saying that's the reason we didn't notice the weaker gravity?
Are you sure you didn't notice anything? Think back. Huh? You and Sigmund Phi said something about it in the lounge. About how you felt weird.
It's kind of like my body isn't really mine. I'm sort of floating. Like that?
It seems insane, but what Luna said made sense. Luna, in fact, explained Phi's apparently superhuman strength quite as well. Oh, okay, fair enough. You win. I thought she just had cybernetic legs.
Wait.
Taking the fun out of everything.
This is crazy. That can't possibly be Earth out there. Look at it. I've seen photos of Earth, and it's blue and green and beautiful. That thing is just red.
Before we get into that, I should probably tell you something. This isn't New Year's Eve in 2028. Today is January 27th. No.
Don't tell me. 30?
Still no.
Then just what year is this?
It's 74. 2000.
Hey, yo! No, that's insane. That would mean we were abducted more than 45 years ago.
I don't blame you if you don't believe me, but it's the truth.
How can you be sure?
It's not that hard. Quark and I left Earth on January 23rd, 2074. Solar eclipses are easy to predict. We've known that there'd be one on the 27th for a long time. That's just science. Nobody can change that.
But why is the Earth red?
That's a long story. About 45 years ago, on April 13th, 2029, there were 18 annihilation reactors operating in various parts of the world. On the 13th, all 18 of them went up, all at the same time. The explosion was about 180,000 times as powerful as the atom bomb they dropped on Hiroshima.
That's why you guys go to abandoned houses
I suppose it
looking
started a
for
few months before
gears
that.
and whatnot.
The government had a test site for a future Mars
Because that
mission out in the
would
middle
be
of Nevada.
basically a
On
stable
December
job at
31st,
that time.
2028, there was an accident. Well, accident doesn't quite convey the right sense of the thing. The point is, Radical 6 claimed its first victims there, then escaped. Didn't take long for it to spread to the rest of the world. Like Luna explained, the virus slows your brain down, but eventually, it also makes you kill yourself. Pretty soon, the bodies started to pile up. Some people would take a dive off a building or shoot themselves in the head. You know, the classics. But for some it was poison, or fire, or asphyxiation, or the noose. Plenty of people jumped in front of trains or cars. One pilot on a passenger airline drove his plane into the ground. Most forms of transportation ground to a halt pretty fast. That meant food couldn't get distributed, and thousands of people who weren't even infected died from starvation. Everywhere you went, there were just piles of corpses, covered in flies and rats and crows. I don't know what hell's like, but I imagine it's a lot like that. After a while, people who managed to avoid getting infected started trying to get in touch with one another. They got a hold of some radios and organized a couple meetings. There was only one thing to discuss, of course. How could they get rid of Radical 6? The answer, they decided, was purification. They figured they could just roast the surface of the Earth and that'd kill the virus off for good. On April 13th in 2029, they put their plan into effect. That plan was to detonate all 18 Annihilation reactors. Now the truth is, that's mostly just rumor. Nobody really knows what happened, but I've got my own theories. I think that the bombers had already been infected, and when they died, they took billions with them. The ultimate if I die, you're coming with me gesture, I suppose.
Selfish bastards.
I bet you money they'd all lost it long before they got to the reactors. Killing most of the world, no matter how bad things had gotten, was not a sane plan, even if it wasn't directly responsible. Radical 6 killed most of the people on Earth. Anyway, why it happened isn't that important. Point is, it happened. You ever heard of nuclear winter? Well, that's basically what we got. The explosions threw a ton of crap up into the stratosphere, where it joined up with smoke and ash from all the fires. It blotted out the sun for 7 years. Plants withered and animals died by the millions. The few humans who were left banded together to survive. They were rough times. Eventually they were over, though. The sky cleared and the sun came back. Plants started blooming again, and the animals that hadn't died out completely began to reappear. Things weren't quite back to normal, though. It's been 45 years now, but there's still quite a bit of dust and ash in the air. That's what you're seeing. You know why a sun sets red? Well, this is the same thing. Blue and green light have short wavelengths, and they scatter when they run into debris in the air. Red light, on the other hand, has a longer wavelength, which means it'll get a lot farther when the air's dirty. So there you are. The Earth looks red because that's the only color of light that can make it through the atmosphere.
I was speechless. What could I possibly say? There was no reason for Tenmyoji to lie to us. So we were standing on the moon, with whalers and harpoons, looking at the Earth. It was 2074. But why? Why were we here? Why were we then? I was so lost and thought I barely noticed Five
Sigma,
approach.
I think I figured
Sigma
something
nuts.
out.
The key where we go to the gardens, right? The windows popped up on the inside of my helmet with a whisper in the corner. She seems to be using a circuit only we could hear. Yeah?
I figured out why there's
What
an
is it?
extra E.
An extra E? Oh, you mean
Yeah.
the graffiti?
The one on floor B. I think it's an anagram, just like on floor A.
Yep. What's Anna
God
say
damn
this
it,
time?
Sigma. Knock it off.
Memento mori if the ninth lion ate the sun. If you rearrange the letters, you get... The man on the moon rules the infinite time. See? You need 6 E's to get that. So they stuck an extra one in ninth.
The man on the moon rules the infinite time?
I think it's a message for us from Zero Senior and Akane. Remember what she was telling us?
We created the AB project for one purpose. To transport the consciousnesses of 2 people past. Those two people are you, Sigma, and you, Vi.
So, what are you getting at?
My God, you're slow. You don't get it? They're saying we rule the infinite time. Infinite time. They weren't just talking about having us jump a couple hours. I think they're planning to send us back. Way back.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you think they're gonna send us back 45 years?
I'd bet on it.
So the ultimate purpose of the AB project was to send us back in time to that catastrophe Tenmyoji was talking about? That doesn't make sense, though. I mean, we came from that same time period before it actually... So why bring us here and send us back?
Akane should be able to tell us the rest. Let's go pay her a visit. I've got an idea.
The garden!
Come on, think. Remember what she said when she gave you the key?
The garden. The garden. The botanical garden.
Well, come on, what are you waiting for? Let's go.
We turned and ran back into the pressure exchange chamber that was following close behind.
What are you doing? Did you forget something?
We're gonna have to talk to someone.
Who?
You really need me to spell it out? Who's behind all this?
I'll take that as a yes. Let me accompany you then.
Wait, why do you know about Akane?
I'll tell you when we get there.
Because he is me and I am you.
I'm coming with you. You folks just said the magic word.
I'm going too then. So am I. Hey, is this Akane you're talking about?
Yeah, you know her real well.
Wait, you're serious? What the hell is going on?
Shut up! Just shut up. Come in if you want to. We don't need to do roll call. Once we get there, Akane can explain everything. With that, we headed back into the airlock.
Ah, clever. The number 9 door on floor A is shut forever once the game ends. Assuming Zero Jr. was telling the truth, of course. But the door on floor B...
Yeah. Thought we might be able to take the lift to it. And it looks like I was right.
Any idea where Akane might be?
Yeah.
Wait, you mean
grave.
the grave in the garden?
Yeah. Don't worry. I don't think she's buried there or anything. Chances are, she's alive. Just in the grave. Anyway, let's move to the garden. The botanical gardens is where we go.
Is Akane really under here?
What should
I
we
think
do?
so.
Are we gonna dig her out?
No, I don't think we'll have to do anything like that. You see the keyhole in the grave? If I just insert this here, twist it in something unlocked with a quiet grinding, the grave began to open.
What is this?
It doesn't look like a coffin.
Yeah. It's a treatment pod.
Oh my god.
It is, isn't it?
The glass on the cover had frosted over, making it opaque. I think. We couldn't see who or what.
Let's see what's inside.
She grabbed a hold of the lever and decided to
No good.
on the pod.
I think it's locked.
What?
Treatment pod TP00. Stage 1, defrosting complete. Stage 2 will be complete in 10 minutes. Once stage 2.
What?
Right, cold sleep. These pods can put people in cold sleep. It uses something called CAS to freeze human bodies
So,
without destroying the cells.
Mizakane's like an ice cube? Then we
I think
gotta
so.
wait till she melts?
So how about you
Yeah.
tell us your story while we wait, Kay? Specifically, why do you know Akane?
I remembered
What do you remember?
everything.
She's my mother.
I was born and raised in this facility. It's called Rhizome 9. A rhizome is an underground plant stem that spreads by sending out roots. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? This facility is a little like a rhizome. Supposedly, that's why they call these installations that. The number comes from the facility's number. There are 54 rhizomes on the moon, and this is the 9th one. Well, I suppose the other ones don't really matter to you, do they? In any event, I grew up here with Akane and Zero Senior. I watched them create the AB project.
The AB project?
Yes. Its purpose is to send Phi and Sigma, or their consciousnesses at least, to the past.
Back 45
Yes.
years, right?
So, you want us to change history, huh? Go back and keep Radical 6 from getting out, and stop the reactors from exploding. That's our mission?
Well, not exactly. It's true that the ultimate goal of the project is to keep Radical 6 from spreading to the general population. But even if you do make it back, you won't be able to do much. By now, it's already too late.
Too late?
Let me begin
What
at the
do you
beginning.
mean?
You might be thinking that Zero Senior and Akane were the ones who created all this, but that's not entirely correct. They only followed the histories they'd already seen. It was the only choice they had. Nothing less than the future of mankind is at stake. We need the two of you to jump through timelines while maintaining your memories. That is why you had to play the AB game, and why the chromatic doors were necessary. By forcing multiple options, you could make numerous jumps. We speculated that jumping more would strengthen your memories. The puzzles were also there for a purpose. Some theories hold that a moment of insight when you solve a puzzle strengthens your connection to the fourth dimension. That was the reason for the puzzles. Your infection with Radical 6 was also a vital part of our plan. By slowing down your brain's processing speed, we can store your potential. With that energy stored up, we just had to provide a life or death situation to launch your consciousness into the fourth dimension. Like a bullet from a slingshot.
Wait, hold on just a minute here. You keep talking about Sigma and Phi, but what about the rest of us? Why did you bring us here?
That's
Pawns.
simple. In earlier histories, you were all here in Rhizome 9. We needed you here to accurately replicate those histories. Although I suppose
Eh?
that's probably not a good enough explanation for you. In a sense, though, it is the truth. Our primary goal was to replicate history. The rest is... Yes, I suppose I should explain. Very well. I will try and do so in a way you can understand. First, Alice and Clover. They were abducted 45 years and 1 month ago, on December 22nd, 2028. The location is
Goddamn.
Earth, of course. More specifically, Los Angeles, California. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
After being kidnapped, your bodies were sent to a facility under Akane's direction. You were placed in treatment pods and immediately put into cold sleep. 4 months later, you arrived at this facility. The date you finally arrived was April 14th, 2029. Your trip from Earth to this facility was aboard a spaceship powered by an annihilation engine. Following your arrival, your pods were placed in long-term storage. Does that make sense?
Are you telling me we were sleeping in those pods here for 45 years?
Yes, in preparation for this day.
But why? What do you need us for?
You are an Esper, aren't you, Clover? I mean that you are able to access the fourth dimension. Am I wrong?
Did Akane tell you?
In a manner of speaking.
That's why you couldn't communicate.
As I've already explained, the purpose of this project is to send Sigma and Phi's consciousnesses to the past. Espers are able to sort of resonate with one another, which can amplify their power. You understand? This is why we brought you here, Clover.
What about me?
We needed your help, Alice, to deactivate Dio's bombs.
Huh? But I didn't do anything.
But you did. In another history, you were able to perform a prime decomposition on the 25-digit integer that Dio left behind. Only you could do that sort of thing. Because of your feat of mathematics, we were about to determine that Dio had planted the bombs. Then we were able to question him and get the password for the number 31. Finally, we used that information to stop the bomb in this timeline. Without your help, Alice, we would have been reduced to nothing more than so much space dust. This history exists because of your presence.
God
now,
damn.
Let me explain why we needed Tenmyoji and Quark. Tenmyoji is simple. We needed you for the same reason we needed Clover. You are able to access the fourth dimension. Almost half a century ago, you used that ability to save a young girl, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
We needed you to resonate with Sigma and Phi, so we brought you here. All it took was a messenger.
Do you want to see Akane? If you do, come with me. I was a fool and fell for it.
And you brought Quark with you. In fact, you insisted that he come.
Yeah, I know. I guess you were worried about leaving me alone, huh? He kept saying he couldn't run off to the moon and leave me behind.
I'm sorry, Quark. If I hadn't been so stupid and selfish, none of this would have happened to you. I never thought this would happen. Can you ever forgive me?
Oh, don't worry about it. I mean, I agreed to come with you. I thought the moon would be way more interesting than boring old Earth. What kid would turn that down?
We didn't see the messenger after we got on the ship. It was on autopilot. As soon as we got in, it headed straight for the moon. During the trip, Zero told me to keep quiet once we got there. I don't remember anything after we landed.
Then there was a bunch of that white smoke, and we passed out, and when I woke up, I was in the AB room.
Now, Dio. His real name is Left, and he's the leader of a terrorist organization called the Myrmidons. He was ordered to come here. The Myrmidons are under the control of an organization called Free the Soul, which is in turn controlled by a man known as Brother. It was Brother who orchestrated the release of Radical 6 into the general population 45 years ago. Do you remember what Phi mentioned earlier? The ultimate purpose of the AB project is to change history and keep Radical 6 from being released. If we succeed, that would be bad for Brother and his organization.
Oh no.
Our success would prevent them from creating the ideal world they're working toward. That is why Brother sent Left, his trusted lieutenant, to this facility. They needed to stop the AB project. So, Dio was given two tasks. The first was to eliminate Akane, the architect of the AB project. The second was to join the AB game and win it. If Dio won the game, the AB project would not be completed, at least not in that timeline. In other words, in that world, the project would have been stopped. If things didn't go as planned, Dio was given a contingency plan. If you cannot murder Akane and win the game, destroy Rhizome 9. Hence, the bombs.
Can I ask you something?
Perhaps.
How did Brother know about the AB project?
He was also an Esper, We can set brother aside for now, though. May I proceed? Excellent. That explains everyone, save two. Luna and myself. Sigma and Phi already know the truth about Luna. I don't believe I should reveal any more, however. I think it would be more appropriate if you could ask Luna yourselves at a later time. Would that be all right with you, Luna?
Yes, that's okay.
As for me, as I said before, I was born and raised here. The rest of you were brought to this facility, but I've never left. That makes me someone close to Zero Senior and Akane.
Hey, I've been wondering, who is Zero Senior?
You've already met him, Sigma. In another timeline.
Yeah. Well, I saw a hologram. I still don't know who he is. Is that Santa?
Stage 2 is complete.
I believe it. Sorry if you get my cat in the background.
TP00 unlocking.
It looks like it's finished. Shall we open the pod?
Yeah, let's do it. All of us gathered around the pod. A glass was covered with frost, hiding the
Okay,
contents.
let's get started then. Ready?
Phi laid her hand on the lever and looked around at us. I swallowed.
All right.
Yeah.
Here we
anytime.
go. 3, 2, 1.
Ah! What? So my head was full of memories from other timelines. I've seen something like this before at a warehouse. What? My own face? I didn't figure out who he really was, but why was there a man in my... huh? But, wait. The person in the pod was the same person I seen on the warehouse floor.
You finally noticed. Didn't I tell you? You won't be alone. I will be at your side, watching over you. Yes, I am.
My brain.
Akane Kurashiki.
It's you! June! I mean, Akane, from... But you're old.
Yes, that's correct. I haven't spoken to you in a very long time, Clover. Or you,
Ooh.
Junpei.
Junpei?
Akane, long time no see.
My mind has been blown. I feel like all the air has been knocked out of me and all I can do
When?
is collapse right then and there.
How long?
Do you remember when the two of you saved me in the warehouse? Once you saved me, you went back to your future. Well, your minds did at least. I carried your bodies to the 3rd AB room and then took Dio's to the 5th. After that, I went into the 1st room and borrowed Kay's armor.
So by the time you and Clover came out, you'd already...
Yes.
Dio killed you, and then Luna took your body to the 6th room. You couldn't have been in Kay's armor.
No, it was me. In this timeline, at least. In this one, I wasn't murdered by Dio. You two saved me. It's just like Schrodinger's cat. Your actions in the future decided who would be inside the armor in the past.
Alright, what about the other history? The one where you weren't saved. What happens then? Who's wearing the armor?
That's quite simple. The man in front of you.
Him?
That's correct. Whenever I'm not in the armor, he is.
What about the memory loss?
For my part, I confess that I lied. He, on the other hand, was telling the truth. Large doses of Soporil can cause memory loss. I gave him a rather large dose.
So, who is he?
You've never seen him before?
No.
What about the rest of you?
I have no idea who he is.
I've never seen him before.
Me either.
Total stranger.
Hey, come on, what are you guys saying? Right here. Same face?
Huh?
Huh?
Are you all right, Mr. Sigma? Did you hit your head or something?
Huh?
Sigma, your consciousness can jump through time. You can inhabit your body in the past or in the future.
What does that mean?
Don't you get it? You've jumped to the future. From 45 years ago.
Huh? How do I look? Falling all fours, I approached the edge. My heart was hammering, so a cold sweat tricked down my spine. Calm down, calm down, calm down. Damn it! I struggled to take a deep breath and slowly appeared into the pond looking out for my reflection. Oh. Where, Zero Senior?
It's your face, Dr. Sigma Climb. Although, to the you that's behind it now, it's your face 45 years from now.
So when Luna called
Zero,
me Doctor...
the mastermind of the AB project, is you.
Huh?
No, it's the truth. Fighting it isn't going to do you any good. Please, Doctor.
I'm not
you
a
will
doctor.
be a pioneer in the field of genetic engineering. No, I'm not. You created him. Well, I suppose I should say you are going to create him. His name is Kyle Climb, your clone. That is why he looks just like a younger version of yourself. 23 years ago, in the biolab here in Rhizome 9, you created Kyle. Well, I suppose for you, that's still in the future. When I said I was born and raised here, I was still pretending to be him. The gravity here is only 1/6 of Earth's. If nothing was done, the reduced gravity would cause his bones to be weaker than normal human ones. But you prepared for that. You gave him that armor. Ever since he was born, he's lived inside of it. It kept his muscles and bones strong. He wasn't forced into it for the nonary game. He's been wearing it every day, all his life.
Baby robot version. That makes sense. But why would I?
He was to be your spare. If something happened to you before the project began, he would take your place. I mentioned before that the AB projects A and B stood for after and before. That isn't all they mean, though. The A also means anima, and the B means body. Anima is another word for the soul or the consciousness. body is, well, exactly what it says on the tin. The past consciousness will go into the future body, and the future consciousness will go into the past body. They switch. That was the chief goal of the project.
Wait, so the future person goes into the past person?
Sigma, do you remember the note you found in the garden?
You mean this, right?
Yes. Ah, of course, it was you who investigated the garden in this timeline.
Yeah.
Sigma, take a good look at this. It's an illustration of the time jumps your consciousness is making. A is where everything began.
Wait! I was the masked man that kidnapped everyone?
December 25th, 2028.
I was the masked man?
You inhaled the white smoke in your car and lost consciousness. From there, you jumped to B. January 25th, 2074. You woke up in one of the AB rooms in Rhizome 9. You are in your own body, but it is 67 years old. Your consciousness has jumped 45 years into the future. I believe that may explain why you didn't notice the reduced lunar gravity. The body you woke up in was much older. Normally, you would have noticed that your muscles were much weaker. In this case, however, the lower gravity balanced that out.
Okay,
moving on. If you
stopped us from
continue
looking at a
along this
mirror?
line, what happens next? You reach C, which is January 27th, 2074. That is today.
Whoa. Wait, what do you mean? Are you saying it's been 2 days since we woke up?
36 hours to be exact. Have you already forgotten?
Alright, shut up. we're a little before that.
You
Next
were
try.
all infected with Radical 6. The virus slowed your brain down. So yes, 36 hours of real time have passed. But to you, it only seemed like 14 hours and 40 minutes. Now comes the important part. After this, your consciousness will return to the past. It will re-emerge at point D. April 13th, 2029. You will return to your younger body.
But that's the same day as the reactor explosions.
Yes. That is why I said it will be too late. You will return to the past, but the events you would want to prevent will have already happened. The story does not end there, however. The line continues. After reaching point D, you will eventually return to B. But this time, you won't be jumping through time, or at least not at a rate faster than normal. Your consciousness will spend 45 years inhabiting the same body until you reach point B. Do you remember when B is, Sigma?
Sigma nuts? January 5th, 2074, according to what you just told
Correct.
us. It's 36 hours ago.
That was when the consciousness of the 22-year-old Sigma jumped into the body of 67-year-old Sigma. So where did the older version of you go when you took his body?
Point A, December 25th, 2028, the day all this started.
Yes. His consciousness will go back in time 45 years. For a period of time, he will inhabit your younger body. While your younger consciousness is elsewhere, he will be you in the past.
But once that body reaches point D, my 22-year-old consciousness will come back from point C.
That's correct. When that happens, the older version of you will be ejected from your younger body and return to your body at C.
So it's rotating.
Rotating? I suppose you could put it that way. But look at this illustration closely. What if you take all these lines and untangle them? You get one single line. It may look complicated, but in truth, it's a single straight path, with one exception.
The line here at point
Exactly.
E, right?
Point E is December 31st, 2028, the day of the total eclipse.
Today Radical 6 got out of the test facility.
Yes. By now, you've likely figured it out on your own. The purpose of the AB project was to get the consciousness of the 67-year-old Sigma from point B to point
nuts.
A. If we can do that, we can change what happened 45 years ago.
So the old version of me will keep Radical 6 from getting out. By jumping into my 22-year-old body on New Year's Eve
Yes,
2028?
that is why this line could not be interrupted. In order for the 67-year-old version of you to reach point B, we first have to go through point D. In order to get to point D, we must jump from point C, and for point C to happen, we had to recreate everything that happened in this facility. That is why we have faithfully retraced history up to this point, so that we might save humankind from destruction and undo the horrors of the last 45 years.
Tell me
What
thing.
is that?
You said that point C is January 27th, 2074, which is today. There's going to be a jump, and I'll jump to April 13th,
Yes,
2029.
that's right.
But look, I'm still old. When is this jump supposed to
Very
happen?
soon, yes.
And what's
We
gonna trigger
need
it?
potential energy stored to send your consciousness into the fourth dimension. Fortunately, we now have plenty of that, thanks, ironically, to Radical 6. All that remains is to launch your consciousness, like a bullet from a slingshot.
And how do you propose to do
Didn't
that?
I tell you? A crisis. A moment balanced between life and death. That can jumpstart your brain. You haven't
mean?
figured it out. I mean this.
Don't stab my clone. Don't stab the clone. Dio's knife. No sooner were the words out of my mouth. Hey, yo! I screamed and leapt toward them. Kanye was already in motion, and knife diving towards Spy's chest. I was almost there. And then we get stabbed. When I regained consciousness, I was on the floor. There was a dull pain in my chest. Felt for a cut, but something was in the way. It took me a moment to realize that it was Connie's body lying on top of me. I twisted my neck to look around. Nearby was an old tombstone. I would have been a few Latin words. What you are, I was. What I am, you will be. What the fuck? Are we done? Is that the actual? I don't know if that's it. I don't know. I don't know if that's everything. I don't know what else could be done, but. So Tenmyoji was Junpei. What the fuck? Are you kidding me? Why? Voices?
Today is April 13th, 2029, and this is the evening news. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I don't have any news to read. All of our station's reporters have passed after contracting Radical 6. So have my... Excuse me. I've managed to keep us on the air until now. But I'm out of tricks. It's time for me to sign off. This concludes our broadcast day. I pray that someday our world can be cleansed of this horrible plague. Goodbye.
Oh! Oh! For a moment I just stared at the TV. The roar of the static seemed to have filled the entire room until with a click it disappeared too. Had the power gone out? I heard footsteps behind me, then turned around. You!
It looks like the first step was successful.
What the fuck? You killed me!
Killed?
I guess technically you're going to kill me 45 years from now, but still!
Hey, no need to be rude about it. I didn't kill you. I hit you with the butt of the knife. You're fine.
I'm okay?
Yes. You and Phi needed to experience a state of crisis. That was the only way.
Me and
yes,
Phi?
I only told you about you, but we also needed Phi to jump.
Oh.
Now, you know what happens next, right?
We go to
Correct.
the moon?
We will be leaving tomorrow, April 14th, 2029. We've nearly finished preparing your shuttle. Only a few last-minute checks and additions. You'll be traveling to Rhizome 9, along with 3 treatment pods.
Alice and Clover,
Yes.
right? What about the third one?
Phi.
Who's in there?
We put her into cold sleep 2 days ago. She appeared at our headquarters and volunteered to be frozen. That wasn't the Phi who jumped from point C, though. It was Phi before she jumped from point A to point D. In other words, she was following the same path you are, and she still is.
My head is cocked and I am so confused. Then that means that after you froze her, the point C version of her jumped back into her
Yes.
body.
The point C version of Phi is sleeping in that pod. She'll stay there for the next 45 years, sleeping in ice.
Then when she gets to point B, her consciousness will jump to point
Correct.
A, right? So that's why she didn't look old. So why don't you just stick me in one of those
We can't
pods?
do that. You haven't figured it
not?
out? You have to spend the next 45 years working on the AB project. After arriving at Rhizome 9, you must master genetic engineering and artificial intelligence programming, among other disciplines. Otherwise, you will be unable to create Kyle, Luna, and Lagomorph. And, of course, you will need to develop the chromatic doors and the bracelets. You will also be the person who summons Tenmyoji and Quark. Once you've completed all the preparations, then the
Can we just say
project can
Can we
actually
just say
begin.
Junpei?
January 25th, 2074. You will defrost Phi and carry her to the 3rd AB room. Once you've done that, the 22-year-old version of you from point A will force you out. And you'll just go back 45 years to your own body on December 25th, 2028.
And then I changed history. Do you really think I can keep the virus
You
from getting
have
out?
to. If you don't, billions of people will die. Only you and Phi can save them.
What about you?
I can't do anything on my own.
She's
If this
not
is
an
going to
escort.
work, I'll need your help.
So what
What
do
do
I
you
need to
mean?
do? Like, what specific actions do I need to take? When Phi and I jump to point A, what are we
You'll
going
both
to do
enter
then?
the Mars mission test site.
And after that,
I don't know. I'm sorry.
What?
I really don't know anything about what happens in there. We don't know how the Radical Six escaped. We don't even know why it was there in the first place.
Oh, crap. Then we're
That's
screwed.
why we need your help. You have the ability to jump through time and across parallel worlds. We need you to figure out what happened in that test facility. Things will be difficult, and I'm sure you will find yourself in a great deal of danger. But I believe the two of you can overcome any obstacle.
Wait, how do you
The
know it's so dangerous?
67-year-old version of you told me what happened. He wasn't able to stop the virus. So I suppose you could say you told me after you failed.
What did he... What
That
did
the test
I say?
facility is full of traps.
Oh.
There was one point. A woman's life was in danger. You risked yourself for her sake, and lost your arms and your right eye.
My arm and my right eye? Oh. Suddenly, a low rumble shook the building.
Go have a look.
What was that? I moved slowly to the window and peered outside. On the horizon, I could see a massive mushroom cloud climbing slowly towards the sky. Would we really be able to change the course of the history? No, that was the wrong way to look at it. It couldn't be a question. I had to change the history. We could save the world. I'm going to change the history. I stared at the darkening sky above us and steeled myself. I would succeed. Would we? Okay. Fuck you.
But
so hey yo?
Where?
I have a voice!
I see you've finally woken up, Kyle.
Kyle?
Ah, yes. Of course.
Troy Baker!
You've only just woken up in this timeline. It's only natural for some of your memories to be missing.
I looked upright, jumped off the bed, and ran around to find the other side of the partition. The mirror over this thing was covered with a film of dirt. I wiped it off my sleeves and my reflection stared back at me. I'm Troy Baker! There was no mistake. The reflection
Kyle
belonged to...
Climb. So, I'm Dr. Climb? Zero Senior's clone?
What? How do you know that? Shouldn't you still be suffering from amnesia?
An excellent question, one I didn't quite know the answer to myself. I knew who Kyle Klim was. Another history, he had been called K and had worn a suit of armor. Oh, look at that. He hadn't just worn the armor in that history, though. Apparently, he'd worn it all of his life. Kyle had been born and raised in his lunar installation, which seemed to be called Rhizome 9. Rather late in his life, Akane had appeared as a mother figure and had consequently grown very attached to her. I knew everything about him, but even though I knew it, I didn't feel it. Was I really Kyle Climb? Every time I looked in the mirror, I saw his face. Displaying image of Sigma Climb in his younger days. I looked down. There was Dio, still handcuffed. I turned back to Luna.
What day is today?
January 27th, 2074.
And today is the last day of the AB project. Akane has explained everything in the garden. And she drew a knife and attacked Phi.
I'm Troy Baker!
How long have I been asleep?
About 5 hours in real time. For them, it would have seemed like a little more than 2 hours.
So they still haven't been treated for their Radical 6?
No, they've all been given the antiviral. It just takes a while to have an effect.
I see. So the consciousness of the younger Sigma has gone back into the past. It should have happened right after Akane attacked Phi, right?
Yes.
Why am I here?
The doctor carried you back here. You were in the pod in the garden.
So the person you call the doctor is Sigma Climb, as inhabited by his age-appropriate consciousness.
Yes, but how do you know that?
Dio seems to have remained unconscious.
Yes. I've been administering Soparil whenever he gets restless.
What about the others?
They've all gone off to different areas. Tenmyoji and Quark, for instance.
Call him Junpei, goddammit!
Oh, right! Mr. Climb!
So the sleepyhead's finally up, huh?
What are you two doing here?
You don't know where we are?
This is the upper floor of the pressure exchange chamber. The real one.
Mm-hmm.
We were just about to get dressed and head out.
You plan to return them? To Earth, I mean.
Yeah.
Sigma told us where we could find the shuttle that brought us here. Well, guess he's not really the Sigma I knew anymore. He's Dr. Climb now, or Zero Senior, depending on how you look at it.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Well, I'm just curious why you would choose to return to a devastated planet when you could stay here.
How's staying here gonna help? You aren't gonna say something idiotic about how we should wait here until Sigma changes the past, are you? You can't wait for something that's already happened. Grammar doesn't work that way. Hell, nature doesn't work that way. You following me? We've already lived through history. Sigma failed to keep the virus from getting out. About 45 years ago, Radical 6 created a pandemic, and the antimatter reactors blew up. That all happened. Whatever Sigma does in the past, history's not going to change. In fact, it's because of what he did or didn't do in the past that we've got this past and present. Let me give you an example. Imagine a group of 100 motorcycles driving down an endless freeway. Eventually, they hit a junction. The road splits in two. One freeway continues off northwest, and the other stretches out to the northeast. So one guy, we'll call him S, pipes up. "Let's go northwest," he says. So they take the northwestern road, but about a mile past the intersection, something horrible happens. A semi driving the other way veers into their lane and plows through the bikers. 90 of them die. The surviving 10 are wounded, but survive. They don't stop, though. They keep riding down that highway, and eventually they'd gone 10,000 miles. Then suddenly, something happens that they couldn't have predicted. S, who had survived, suddenly has his consciousness thrown back in time. He ends up back in his own body just before they reach the junction. He remembers everything. So what does S do? What anybody would do. Let's go northeast. That means all 100 of the bikers survive to reach their destination, happy and healthy. And they all live happily ever after. That's what you're thinking, right? It's a great outcome for the 100 bikers that went northeast. But what about the 10 that went northwest and survived the accident?
Huh? Wouldn't it be 9 people? I mean, S's mind went back in time, right?
Right. Okay, 9 people then. What happens to the reality they were living? Does it just disappear when S changes the past? It's not as if it was only bad things that happened during that 10,000-mile trip. Maybe one of them fell in love with a woman working at a gas station they stopped at and had a child. Maybe one of them picked up a homeless kid who joined them on their adventure. That 10,000-mile journey would be full of stories. Friendships, farewells, romances. The loss of those 90 lives is horrible and unfortunate. But what would rewriting their history mean? The 9 who survived lived full lives. How can it be right to just erase all that? The survivors overcame their own misery and loss and made the best they could of the hand they'd been dealt. Isn't that worth something? Isn't that the best thing that humans can aspire to? Is there really any point to a world where everything is happy? Are people who struggle for a better life just idiots? Being human is about fighting even when it seems hopeless and finding happiness even in a world that hates it. Are you saying that's worthless? If you're saying rewriting the past will erase all these other timelines, then whatever God wrote those rules can Look, I'm just not going to accept that, all right? You get it?
If Sigma changes the past, then you and Quark will never meet.
Is he right?
No, it's not going to happen. We're here right now. This is reality. Even if Sigma does change the past, we're not just going to disappear or something.
Oh, then that means we get to stay together? Good.
Thanks, kid.
I understand how you feel. Why you want to return to Earth is clear. You have lives there, I imagine. There are likely people waiting for you.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Have you already said goodbye to the others?
Bye, Luna, Alice, and Clover all saw us off. We told them we'd see them again someday, and then came here.
They were the only people you want to say goodbye to?
Well, no point saying anything to Dio.
Besides, he's asleep. You were asleep too.
Sorry, but we didn't really know much about you.
You have a point. Akane was in the armor in this timeline, after all. What about Sigma?
Well, he's not really Mr. Sigma anymore.
Of course. He is Dr. Klein now that his consciousness has returned.
Yeah, but more importantly, he's the guy who brought us all here. Not a lot of warm feelings there, you know?
And Akane?
Never mind her. She's just like him. Not the Akane I knew. She must have seen some pretty awful things over the years. Hell, she might not even be human anymore. But the Akane Kurashiki I know isn't here. She's not anywhere.
In the end, Clover and I were just pawns. Pawns to be used and then gotten rid of. Still, it's not like we were completely resentful. We had to be here to help change the past. That part's easy to understand. But
kinda sucks, though. I mean, Sigma and Phi have it easy. They get to go back to December 25th in 2028. They'll stop the Radical Six and save the world, and then they'll have a nice, normal future to look forward to. In other words, they get to go back to Point E and just enjoy history like it was supposed to happen.
But we don't. We're stuck with Point C as our starting point.
You told us about Tenmyoji's story, right? The one with the motorcycles? It would be like if Alice and I were kidnapped right before the intersection. Then whoever grabbed us takes us to wherever the bikers are going, 10,000 miles to the northwest.
Don't get us wrong. We know why we had to be here. Without us, S's consciousness wouldn't have been able to go back to right before the intersection.
If that couldn't happen, then the fate of those 90 dead bikers would be sealed. But
it's still not the best situation for those of us left in the Northwest. We're stuck in the reality where the 90 bikers died.
Are we just supposed to go live on Earth? It's a wasteland now. And what about our friends and families? We left a whole world behind
dead.
45 years ago.
Even if it is for the greater good?
It just doesn't seem fair, does it?
Yeah, it's a little bit much.
So we went and talked to the old lady.
She told us that there is one way.
One way we could get back to the past.
Let's say you do go back to the past. Wouldn't that cause your minds to get thrown back here? That seemed to be how Sigma and Phi's jumps worked, at least.
Yes, you're right.
But this is different.
Different? How so?
From what she said, it sounds like there's a way we can send our bodies back in time, too.
That's ridiculous. It would create a paradox. How could you have 2 Clovers and 2 Alices at the same time?
But that wouldn't happen.
Akane says there's a way around that.
How on earth does she plan to do that?
Schrodinger's
cat.
Oh, hey, Kyle. Figured you'd come here eventually.
Where's Dr. Klein? Luna said you were with him.
He said he was tired, so he's off resting right now. There's a bedroom at the end of the hallway. He's in there if you're curious. Oh, right. He told me to turn on this hologram projector thing when you showed up. Want me to start it?
Sure.
Glad to see you. There isn't anything in particular that I have to tell you. However, I imagine there are a great number of things weighing on your mind. I'd love to answer all your questions, but unfortunately, my circumstances make that an impossibility. I hope you can forgive me. Everything I know, Phi should also know. I have instructed her to answer any questions anyone might have. Anyone other than Kyle, that is.
Because that's spoiling.
What does he mean, other than Kyle?
Who knows? Is there anything you want to ask?
Right, well, I guess I may as well cut to the chase. Just who are you, Phi?
I'm not Superman, that's for sure. And I'm not Batman or Spider-Man or Aquaman or a merman or a wolfman. I'm not a Brahmin or Kamen or Ramen. I'm not a Cayman either, so you really don't need to worry about anything.
Please don't dodge the question. About 5 hours ago, Akane attacked you with a knife. That triggered something which sent your mind back to the past, correct? Specifically, you were sent to Point D, April 13th, 2029. On that date, your body was already in Akane's custody. Although by then you were in cold sleep. you wouldn't have regained consciousness, but your mind was now inhabiting that body. That pod was your home for 45 years. You slept there, frozen, until the time was right. Then on January 25th, 2074, you were finally thawed out, even though you didn't wake up. Still unconscious, you were carried to the AB room. That was when your consciousness changed bodies again. A version of you from December 25th, 2028 arrived, pushing you out, and sending you back to December 25th, 2028. This is when you finally woke up. In 2028, you found and joined forces with Sigma, whose older mind was inhabiting his younger body. Together, you attempted to infiltrate the Mars mission test facility. Unfortunately, your plan failed. The Radical Six did escape on New Year's Eve. That failure determined the path you followed. Instead of going along the line that branches out to the right from point E, you headed straight to point D. Point D being April 13th of the following year. That was the day that you made your way to Akane's hideout and asked to be put into one of the treatment pods. Another consciousness enters your body around that time from the future. It is, of course, the version of you that left your body when Akane attacked you in the garden. This caused the two versions of you to swap places, and you moved 45 years into the future where you woke up on the garden floor. That put you on the line that comes here. So if we discount the time you spent in cold sleep, for you only 3.5 months have passed since that happened. That being when you were sent back into the past from the garden. Have I missed anything?
No, everything you talked about you got right.
Well, what do you mean by that?
I'm kind of an unknown variable in this equation. You could think of me as a kind of X factor. It's taken me the last 3.5 months to understand it.
And I haven't understood anything in the last 3.5 seconds. Could you please explain?
It's kind of like the relationship between classical mechanics and modern physics. Strictly speaking, you can't combine velocities with v1 plus v2. v1 plus v2 divided by 1 plus v1 times v2 over c squared is the actual equation. Of course, the sort of velocities we encounter in day-to-day life don't come close to being c squared, which is the speed of light squared.
Listen,
that means that 1
D
plus
in
v1
physics
times
too. Can we
v2
not?
divided by c squared is usually going to evaluate to something pretty close to 1. Since that would mean dividing by 1, it's usually okay to just skip that step and use v1 plus v2. You see what I'm saying? In most situations it works, even if it isn't technically correct. So you knew enough to get the stuff you were talking about right. As long as you stick to that, you won't run into any problems.
I don't quite understand. In fact, I feel like you're dodging my questions.
So was that what you wanted to ask about?
No. What I really want to know is what happened between Christmas and New Year's Eve in 2028. You and Sigma infiltrated the Mars mission test site, didn't you?
Yes.
What happened there? How did Sigma lose his eye and both his arms? And why was Radical 6 in there in the first place? What could a deadly virus have to do with the simulated mission to space?
Sorry, but I can't tell you that.
Why?
Because it would change history. There is a history where the virus didn't escape. That's the line that goes to the right of point E. In that timeline, humanity isn't heading for annihilation, and Earth isn't red. The future is much brighter. But if I tell you what you're asking me right now, then that reality will disappear. You understand?
I don't. Why would all of that disappear if you told me what I want to know?
You're about to go back to the past, right?
The past? Don't be silly. I can't do that.
Then where the hell did you learn all this stuff? I just listened to you tell me a bunch of things you shouldn't have known about. You were sleeping in the pod in the garden. You just woke up. So how can you know all this? You know my past. Sigma's past.
Luna!
I shall give you your answer. You are not Kyle Climb. Your body is Kyle's, but your consciousness is not. think about it, do you really believe you're Kyle? Or could you be someone else entirely?
Then, where is the real Kyle's consciousness?
He was thrown out when you entered. Right now, in a manner of speaking, he has arrived at December 25th, 2028. His consciousness has gone into a body from that time. I doubt you know how much the doctor loves Kyle. He raised him on his own. Kyle is irreplaceable. Do you really think he would go back to the past and leave Kyle behind here? I know what I told the others, that Kyle was Dr. Klime's spare, but that was not his only purpose. Kyle's consciousness is integral to what we are trying to accomplish. This new mission begins on Christmas and ends on New Year's Eve 2028. Its purpose will be to infiltrate the test facility and prevent the spread of the virus. For this to happen, Kyle is absolutely necessary.
And that is why he created him?
Yes.
So now that my consciousness has entered his body, the doctor has achieved his objective. Kyle has gone back to 2028 to participate in his mission.
Correct.
There's one thing that troubles me. Kyle was created before reaching point B from point D. That means his body did not exist on Christmas in 2028. Does that mean he has entered my body? Have we just switched places?
I suppose you could put it that way, yes.
That's ridiculous. What's going to happen to me? You telling me I have to spend the rest of my life here in this box, living in a borrowed body?
No, not at all. You can travel freely through time and space. You are an uncontrolled variable that entered our closed system. As such, the rules of this world do not apply to you.
I have no idea what...
Please don't try to play
How does
dumb.
that work?
I know what you are. Surely you must know by now, too. You are about to go into the past and save the world. Phi and Sigma, even with all of his future knowledge, will need your help. Only you can right the horrible wrongs of our past. Only you can save the world.
There's no way I...
Yes, there is. You have to. Don't you want to know the truth? Don't you want to know what happened in between Christmas and New Year's Eve in 2028?
Well, yes, I do, but...
Not really.
Then you must believe. Reality is shaped by what we believe reality should be. If observation can change the motion of a particle, then how is it odd to think that human thought can shape reality? Your will can change history. The world will be reshaped into the one you imagine. Remember what I've told you. Only you can change history. Only you can save the world.
Alternative end. Sure. Hey, do you have more fucking routes for me to take? No? Alright, one sec. ladies and gentlemen, we have 100% completed this game, which means there is nothing else I can do. We have done it. 100% this whole game. It was a grueling task because it was intentionally supposed to go back in time. I didn't like that because I thought I was being creative, but in fact my creativity was in fact the objective. The golden files are cool. They're basically notes left for the past to find to kind of put things together. I felt like that was a nice touch. The major endings, some of them were okay, some of them were just okay. Favorite character has to be Kay, but now I'm just conflicted now with Kay. I'm always gonna be a Clover simp. Didn't care for Dio. I really thought Quark was gonna be the killer. Tenmyoji being Junpei was very much so a surprise. I really thought Luna was the bad guy, or the antagonist, but was in fact just a robot, which was also interesting. Sigma being Sigma, that's a whole can of worms I don't even want to talk about. Phi was interesting. I feel like there could have been more to her, but again, just even as she put it, she was just a random variable. Screw Connie, she will always be a red flag in my eyes. And screw Connie, she will always be a red flag in my eyes. Don't know what happened to Santa, so that would have been nice to know, but they didn't really include that, so... oh well. Oh, that's it for me. All I say is thank you all for watching. I'll see you all... whenever. I have no plans. See you whenever, maybe. Possibly. Who knows? Will your consciousness show up in the next stream? Let's find out. Till then, peace.